Hello class, today we're going to do our Unit 5 quiz review. So the first problem I want to go over is one that is involving the nth term, which is what we've been doing with sequencing. So if we get an equation that looks similar to this, it says n plus 1 divided by 2. Now, if we see an equation like this, or an expression like this, we need to remember our order of operations. Remember, we have to do what's inside the parentheses first. This is first, and then we'll do our division second. All right, so if we're going to plug this in, that's how we would use it. So if I'm going to find the fifth term in this equation, that means that n would equal 5. So all I need to do is plug 5 into my n. So I would have 5 plus 1 divided by 2, which would be 6 divided by 2, which is 3. So remember, your term is your n. Whatever they tell you the term is, that's going to be your n and what you're going to plug in for n. All right, let's look at another problem. If I have a table that has 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have 20, 28, 36, and 44, I can say this is an XY table. And if I want to find my, remember our first thing to find the rule is to find my rate of change. So to find my rate of change, I'm going to see how much I'm going up or down by. So from 20 to 28 is plus 8. From 28 to 36 would also be plus 8. And from 36 to 44 is also plus 8. So I'm going up by 8 every time. So that means for my rule, the 8 is going to be my multiplier. So I would take 1 times 8. And I would do my 2 times 8 for my second term, 3 times 8 for my third term, and 4 times 8 for my fourth term. Well, I need my first term to equal 20. And 1 times 8 is not 20, it's 8. So to get to 20, I need to add 12. And then make sure that adding 12 will work for this one. 2 times 8 is 16. 16 plus 12 is 28. If I add 12 to this one, 3 times 8 is 24 plus 12 would give you my 36. And 4 times 8 is 32 plus 12 would give me my 44. So if I'm looking for the nth term, then I'm going to have an n here. So it would be n times 8 plus 12. But if I want to write it algebraically, I will write y equals, or let's say this is my x term, because I had an xy table. Y equals 8x plus 12. And this would be my rule. All right, let's look at another problem. This one is similar to what we've done before. So let's say they give us an equation that's y equals 40x plus 15. And then they tell you that the y is the cost, is the total cost. And x is your number of hours you're working. All right? So you know that x in the equation stands for hours, and the y stands for total cost. Then in the question, they tell you that you worked 5 hours. And they want to know how much you're going to make, or what your total cost is going to be. So if I worked 5 hours, hours is the same thing as x. So all I have to do is plug in this 5 for my x. And when I do that, I would get 40, or y equals 40 times 5 plus 15. So if I do 40 times 5, I get 200 plus 15 would be 215. So my Y, or my total cost, would be 215. All you do is if X is hours and they give you a number for hours, you plug that number in for X. If they gave you the Y, then, and my parentheses mean to multiply. I put that in parentheses so that you knew to multiply. So 40 times 5 is my 200 plus my 15 would give me my answer. So if they give you the number to plug in, just plug in and that is your answer. Don't make it too hard. Alright, let's do one more. Let's say we have a sequence. This is what we've been doing all week. And we have a sequence. So let's say we have a sequence of 4, 9, 14, 19, and 24. Well, if they give me a sequence and want me to find the rule or the expression for this sequence, I always set up an XY table first. So, if I was going to do an XY table for this, my first term is 4. My second term is 9. My third term is 14. My fourth term was 19. And then my fifth term, 19, and then my fifth term is 24. Now, our next step is to see what is our rate of change. So from 4 to 9 is plus 5. From 9 to 14 is plus 5. Plus 5 is my rate of change. Remember, your rate of change is going to be your multiplier. So if I do 1 times 5, that does not give me 4, which is my first term. So I need to subtract 1 to make that equal 4. And let's see if that works for the next one. My second term times 5 is 10. Minus 1 equals 9. That's my answer over here is 9. So that is what works. Now, if I'm going to use this as an nth term or my x term, I would say x times 5 equals my y. Now, to write that algebraically, times 1, sorry, I forgot my minus. If I write that algebraically, it would be y equals 5x. Remember, our numbers are more important than our letters. They always come first. Minus 1. And this would be my rule. You just have to follow those steps. Find your rate of change, use that as your multiplier, and then you either add or subtract to get the number that you need it to equal to. And then that will become your rule. Now, guys, we are going to review subtracting numbers that include fractions. Let's say that we are given a word problem, and they say, how much more? And we start out with 9. Why is not 10 not right? All right, here we go. We have 9 minus 6 and 1/3. We want to subtract this. The first thing that you have to remember if we're looking at the fraction, we need to have a common denominator. Our 9 does not have a fraction with it, so we're going to borrow the whole number. And when we borrow from this 9, it becomes an 8. And we're going to borrow 3/3 so that we have the common denominator of 3. Now we're going to go ahead and subtract those fractions. We're going to say 3 minus 1 gives me 2. Remember, your denominator stays the same. It is still 3. We're going to go ahead and subtract the whole numbers. 8 minus 6 is 2. Your answer on this would be 2 and 2/3. Okay, for my next question, it says on a recent road trip, you recorded
want to find a rate of change. What is my change from 10 to 20? What is my change? Okay. So this is 10. We are going up 10. And my change from here is from 12 to 24 is going to be a change of 12. So my rate of change is 10 12. And we're trying to change this to 1 minute. Okay, my minutes are on the bottom. I have 12 minutes on the bottom, so I'm going to set that equal to 1 minute on the bottom. And I want you to see how many miles that will be. Okay, we can do this a couple of different ways. We know that we would divide 12 by 20 to get 1, so we would divide 10 by 12 to do it that way. Or we can cross multiply and divide. And I'm going to show you this by dividing by 12. And if I divide this by 12, or it's the same thing as multiplying by 112. And what we're going to end up with is x equals 10 divided by 12. And this will simplify to 5 or 6. Okay. The next thing that you want to look at is it a constant rate of speed? And to get that, you're just going to look and see if you are changing the same from one to the other. From 10 to 30 is a change of 10, and 30 to 40 is also a change of 10. When we look on the other side, from 24 to 36, we're having a change of 12, and 36 to 48 is also a change of 12. Therefore, it is consistent throughout that, so it would be a constant rate of speed. Okay, the next question is, does the relationship between time and miles traveled represent a proportional or non-proportional relationship? We've answered part of that because it does have a constant rate of change. That would be one thing to have it be proportional. The other thing that we need to check is when we're at 0 minutes, how many miles would we go? And we want both of those to be 0. We want to be at 0, 0. That's the origin. And in this case, if we went 0 minutes, we would go 0 miles. Therefore, it is proportional. Okay, that concludes our review for this quiz. And if you have any questions, you need to come in before school or after school.